This is Sam Vaughn, First Ham Sports Report. The Kansas Jayhawks beat the Texas Tech Red Raiders. Score was by 4. Jalen Wilson, a Grady hit, Dick hit 2 late free throws. His only points from the free throw line. SKU won 67-63. It was the final night. First of the seniors. Jalen Wilson finished with 21. Former final game, most likely. Jalen Wilson's final game. DeJuan Harris's final game. Kevin McCullough Jr.'s final game as a Jayhawk. Joseph Yefuyu. Again, the Kansas Jayhawks beat the Texas Tech 67-63. Game high score was Jalen Wilson. Devon Hamron had 15 for Texas Tech. Kansas visits on Saturday for a chance for to be the Big 12 champs overall if Kansas would beat Texas. On Saturday, tonight, Missouri will play LSU. The Missouri Tigers need to win the last two to get an SEC bye, or Tennessee or Kentucky to lose. Mizzou needs to win the last two, and stagically mounts to senior night. Senior night is on Saturday. Missouri needs Kobe Brown and Demoy Hodge to show up. If Demoy Hodge is hot, the Missouri Tigers are good. Jalen Carter, NFL prospect, charged with a fatal crash. Devontae Willock, who was an offensive lineman for the Bulldogs, and Lee Crown were killed in the car crash. What the police initially reported as a single vehicle accident. Carter in Indianapolis was a scouting combine. He had been slated to speak with reporters as a part of his previous scheduled media availability. A spokesperson for the reporter told Carter would be speaking Wednesday because he and his 5 other players conducting a physicals. Carter representatives told police that they were making arrangements for Carter to turn himself in, according to Shane Bart, of the spokesperson for the Athens Clark County Police Department. Police investigated have determined that alcohol impairment, racing, reckless driving, and speed limit were significant factors at a toxic report. Incident that leaguers blood alcohol rate 9.7, more than twice the legal limit. SU driven by LaCroix was traveling about 104 miles per hour before the crash. The charges were announced today. Deeply, especially, were still struggling to cope with the devastation of the 2 beloved members in our community. Georgia coach Kirby Smart, in a statement, will continue to cooperate fully with the authorities while supporting families. We can learn from this horrible tragedy. The SUV of Georgia power pole and another utility pole slicing the pole in half before striking on the rear passenger quarter panel that sent the vehicle spinning and clockwise before slammed into another tree on the vehicle side where LaCroix Willock was sitting. Carter is a number 1 prospect in the NFL draft. ESPN's Mel Kiper had him as the number 1 prospect in the NFL draft. Warriors are hopeful that Stephon Curry returns on this road trip. Lakers add another injury. Anthony Davis is out for a foot injury against OKC. Lakers now have LeBron James and Anthony Davis on the injury list.
So technically, if you look at it, I mean, outside of the anomaly that is Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr., I mean, for a 4th round pick, I mean, don't hear what I'm not saying. I'm not saying he can't get better. What I'm saying is, like, for people to like say he's a bum and a bust and to like cut him, it's like they're stupid.
But everybody expected him to be this.
No,
and
they
now
didn't.
this.
No, they didn't. He wasn't even supposed to start. Are you talking about for his career, or what are you talking about?
Last year, when they evaluated his play, did you think he was a top five quarterback, or do you think he's a top five quarterback?
I never thought he was a top five quarterback.
He's top 10.
I had him like top. I had him like 10
So if you have him 10, what did you have Alex Smith when he was playing?
when Alex Smith was playing. I had which season are we referring to? Like his entire career? Because you got to figure he had hard years when he started out in San Francisco where they had nothing.
When he was a
Then
Chief,
they got when he was a Chief.
was
Let me
he?
see
Go ahead.
when he was a Chief. It's really he really like really went on like a it trended upwards if you really think about it. As the talent got better, he got better. As Andy Reid got there, he definitely got better.
Andy Reid was with him the whole time.
And I mean, yeah, that's my point. It's like when he got with Andy Reid, he finally really showed everything. He got them to a certain point. He got them to that certain point of the divisional round,
Which was a game
and
day.
he was yeah he didn't like to take a lot of chances, and he so I had him in the top 10 of quarterbacks. I wouldn't say he was top five. I'm trying to think of who all was in the league at the time. I mean, you had at that time, I think you had like Brady, you had Rogers, obviously, you had people like that. Trying to think of some of his other contemporaries.
Philip Rivers,
Philip Rivers, Peyton Manning. Um, who am I missing? The good Russell Wilson, um,
Kirk
Cam
Cousins.
Newton. Never Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins might have been starting at the time, but he was never that good. But so Alex Smith was like he was in the top 10.
So he's just as good as Prescott. Would say that.
No,
You
you
can?
could be in the top 10 just because you're ranked in the top 10 doesn't mean you're as good or better. I mean, because you have to consider there's so much more that goes into like ranking a quarterback. There's playing style, there's coaching. I mean, Dak's never had a coach as good as Andy Reid. We can definitely agree on that.
Will he ever win a Super Bowl in Dallas? If I
Mm, no. When I say will he ever win one, I kind of think about that question is it the team that wins the Super Bowl or is it the quarterback? Because I've been thinking about this because I knew this was coming up, and I've just been really doing a lot of evaluation. And there's a lot of situations where, you know, everybody says Russell Wilson's a Super Bowl winning quarterback, for example, right?
well, he is, yeah,
He have to really do in that Super Bowl that they won.
a lot.
They won 43-8.
But well, I mean, he still was a major. He scored 43 points, or they
The
scored.
defense, the defense had like they scored touchdown. They scored like a touchdown on special teams. I think they scored two defensive touchdowns. So he threw for like 200 yards in that game.
Okay,
So my point is, he was a Super Bowl the quarterback, but he wasn't the sole reason. My point is, so will they win a Super Bowl solely because of that? No. Could they win because of their defense? Yes. And Dak, I mean, stuff together? Yes.
okay.
Because that defense is legit.